Concerned Ape, sole creator of Stardew Valley, just announced his brand new game, Haunted Chocolatier, and it looks amazing. We don't know much about the game as Concerned Ape only created a 2-minute trailer and a short blog post, but here's my take on everything we got so far. You appear to play the game as the city's new chocolatier, which apparently is a very controversial role. You live in a haunted mansion propagated by little ghost helpers who only serve to help you sell chocolate. Concerned Ape said that while Stardew Valley was more about humble, living off the land, and connecting with people and nature, this game is more focused on fantastical possibilities, experiences that take you beyond the ordinary. As Stardew Valley channeled the energy of the sun, Haunted Chocolatier channels the energy of the moon. In terms of what type of game it is, Concerned Ape has said that he's not sure best how to describe it, as he said he's letting it evolve organically now that he's not bounded by the limits of the farming game genre. He did say that at a Haunted Chocolatier's core, the gameplay loop involves gathering ingredients, making chocolate, and running a chocolate shop. In the trailer, we see the players start this gameplay loop by jumping into what looks like a portal to another land, very Super Mario 64-esque. And once you enter this portal, there seems to be monsters to slay, new lands to explore, and ingredients to collect. And the combat in this portion looks a lot more fleshed out than Stardew's, with different weapon types and even a shield to block attacks. You can see that blocking with the shield even makes these slimes dizzy. And no more slingshots for us. Now we've got a real bow, and the aiming looks a lot cleaner. You can just point in the general direction you want to shoot in and fire yourself an arrow. And while you're here, you seem to be collecting resources as well. You can see the player here shake a bush and get a couple pieces of nectar. Now, I don't know what this land is, but I assume it somehow ties in with the haunted aspect of this game, as these monsters aren't just dropping regular resources. Like, look at this one. You can even see him drop a whole gallon of milk. I will say that although this is the only time we see the player enter the portal, I think there will be other portals in this game. You can see here on the sides what appears to be 2 more doors, which I would assume leads to 2 alternate areas. I also believe that there will be humans inside of these portals, based on this screenshot here from Concerned Ape's new website. You can see here in the bottom left, he actually has one of these creatures inside of his house from earlier. So I believe that this man is actually inside one of the portals that we saw earlier. Plus, it looks sort of spring in his room, and we've only seen screenshots from the town in winter. One thing I'm not so sure about is this sign here that says fire risk that appears to be at the max level. It's very possible this is just an aesthetic sign and it's making reference to the fact that there's a forest watchtower over here, or if this is an actual fully fleshed out gameplay mechanic. It could be some sort of mechanic where fire spurts out across the area causing damage or even rare drops. Or maybe you can only enter the area for a certain amount of time before the land sets itself on fire. It could explain the scorched area that we saw with the crows before. The second part of this gameplay loop, making the chocolate, comes next. And we see the character placing ingredients into some sort of pot or cauldron. And also, he seems to be placing a smaller chocolate bar in there to make a bigger chocolate bar? I don't really follow that. After this, we get the final part of your loop, actually selling your chocolate. After you design your shop, it seems like you place whatever you're gonna sell out on the countertop, which is then bought by the patrons and obviously making you some money. If you watch the patrons walk around the shop, you can see that they aren't just buying anything. And if they would, it would probably just make more sense to have a shipping bin system like Stardew. The fact that the patrons come in to buy things leads me to believe you'll have to cater to their specific interests, or perhaps make your shop more inviting to the customers. We can even see the size of your shop will get upgraded as you go, as this shop is significantly smaller than the next one we see here. Now let's get into some of the smaller things I noticed in the trailer. The first thing you'll notice is the game's a lot more lively than Stardew Valley. It takes place in a big city with many shops and people walking around. The city is large and rich with giant mansions, fountains, big walkways, cars. The town always appears to be in winter too, in contrast to Stardew Valley, which always made it a point to show off multiple seasons. Now this is a wild guess, but this game feels like it takes place sometime in the past, as the whole town has really industrial revolution vibe. The large use of steam-powered engines, the lack of any real technology, you'll notice no TVs around town. Everyone's using furnaces, the stove looks gas-powered. The most advanced tech I see throughout this entire trailer is this old-timey radio in Lily's house. There are some things that go against this theory, like I feel like this style of shirt that Lily's wearing is somewhat modern, and Dr. Tungsten's lab, which seems to have some sort of futuristic technology. It reminds me more of what an old computer used to look like rather than like a spaceship or something. Even if it does take place in current day, this is clearly an old city that has preserved itself from modern life. The social mechanics of Stardew Valley clearly carry over here, and they appear to be even more fleshed out this time. You can see when you give this character a gift, she sets the present on the ground, looks at it, looks back at you, and then back to the gift. This dialogue also just feels a lot more fleshed out and a little more mature, a little more moody. Also, I really like the NPCs in this game. They look a lot more diverse and different art styles. Some of them, their faces take up the whole frame, some of them are small. It's very cute, and these characters characters look a lot more inventive. The game also appears to still use the time system carried over from Stardew Valley based on this screenshot here, where the truffle bar says that it'll fortify your health for 8 hours. Looking around this player's mansion, it also looks a lot more lived in than the initial house that Stardew Valley did. They've got old photos on the wall, there's a lot of furniture, so I assume this is not the tale of someone moving to a new town. Lastly, I just want to talk about the bit at the end of the trailer where this bartender seems to call everyone in the bar to gang up on you. It's unclear to me if these vibes are supposed to be hostile or friendly. While it first feels very hostile, this character on the left lets out a soft smile on her face. You can see many of these characters, like this buff blonde guy, throughout the trailer. At first I thought he was falling at you, but this might just be his normal walking path stopped at an inconvenient time. Either way, this final scene, the Dr. Tungsten exchange, the whole mystery of the mansion, and how it becomes haunted, leads me to believe that this game will be a little more story-based than Stardew. Maybe not a strict story that you follow through to the end, but definitely more fleshed out than Stardew. When asked on the question if this takes place in the same world as Stardew Valley, Concerned Ape said that he's not ready to quite reveal this information yet, which could mean that yes it is or no it's not, but it definitely leaves an air of mystery about the game. Concerned Ape also confirmed that the game will only be single player and he currently has no plans of making it multiplayer. All in all, the game looks amazing and I'm really excited to get my hands on it. If I had to guess based off Concerned Ape's blog post and Stardew Valley's timeline, I'd guess that the game probably comes out in like 2 to 3 years, and you can bet I'll be there on release day playing it myself. But hopefully we'll hear a little bit more about the Haunted Chocolatier before then. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I hope you're as excited for the Haunted Chocolatier as I am. Make sure you subscribe so you stay up to date on all the latest Haunted Chocolatier news and more great Stardew Valley content. I'll see you guys later. Bye!